go ahead and record this. Oh, all right, you guys, you've been warned. So the recording is now started. And this is Sherry Denny coming to you from Alaska, where the sun is almost setting. Seriously, it gets a little bit dark at night now. Anyway, I'm corporate director and feeling amazing. It's been 1 year now. Well, that was actually about the 27th of last month, but I know several of you have also experienced that 1 year, and we're just getting going with this. Some amazing things have happened, and it's just getting better. I am so glad you guys are here, because some of the most amazing things are just now starting to happen. There's a you know what, I'm going to go ahead and screen share here, because I have, let me see if I can bring this up here first. There's been some incredible things happening. Oops, you know what? I forgot to do the screen share. You guys. Screen share. There we go. Ta-da. And let me see if I can move this out of the way. And so some incredible things have been happening. Beth Weiser has been very, very busy. And because of that, she has brought on her team from the Philippines. Yes, her team from the Philippines. She has sponsored one global group, Superior International, sponsored directly by Beth, and then has come in Nathaniel Soko, Paul Tevis, Sandra Despi, Maloney Reno, Anamas Delmacchio, all above sponsored by Superior International. And congratulations, by the way, Beth. That's been a huge undertaking. And Randy Kiefer just recently sponsored Regina Runstrom from Talkeetna, Alaska. That was so much fun. I actually got to go up there and visit with Regina. And man, that gal is busy, busy, busy running Cash Cabins. And I just wanted to introduce you to the team. So there you go, Regina Runstrom. And some other things have been happening. By the way, congratulations there, Randy. Some other things have been happening. We have an incredible promo going on right now. Granted, there's a little, I don't even want to call it a glitch, but everybody's been so busy that somebody forgot to renew the security for the website. You know what I'm talking about, Daniel. The SSL security for our APL Go website. And if you're having any trouble getting into it, give it a second or so. They're working on that right now. That is crucial it's critical to have that happening during this special that we're having right now. And I want to go ahead and screen share that as well.
Yep. While you're doing that, just make sure you got the HTTPS on there.
Well, you know what? It does. It's on there, but it still isn't going through, unless just now it started going through. I tried it just a little bit ago, because I was actually trying to go in and get the names of all the people that came in from Superior International, and then I forgot I had them written down on a piece of paper here. So anyway, our summer sizzle that is going on right now. Let's see if I can get that to go a little bit bigger. Is August 1st through the 7th. I don't know if they're going to extend that one more day, because people can't get in there. It's kind of hard to sign people up and get them on a promo if you can't get into your website. And the activity on that is on our website. You can see all of the, all of the information on that on our website at the, my computer is either running slow or something's going on here. It's not letting me get out of there. It's on our Team Go Extreme Facebook page. So let me stop sharing that. And I want to get to the big news tonight. Hi, John. There's been several people that are interviewing other people. And I thought, you know what, why not this team be interviewing people as well? And bring on some people that have been in the industry for a while, some people that when they started out, they almost quit 100 times. But then to this day, now they're $1 million a month income earners. How did that happen? How does this industry make something like that happen? Well, if you're reading the books, you'll know why. If you're reading mindset books, you'll know why. If you're reading your first year in network marketing, you'll know why. And I was fortunate, so fortunate to be able to get an interview with Mr. Jordan Adler. And he was thrilled to do this, you guys. So I want to go ahead and pull this up. I'm going to do a screen share and you guys can listen into this. And that's not the one. Here it is. And let me know that you guys can hear this, okay? So, just so you know, I want to bring to you today an amazing man. I have, this guy has inspired me for such a long time. And I'm oh, hold on just a second. It doesn't look as if, is the screen share going on, you guys?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you so much. Met this guy about 5 years ago and I was inspired by his never give up attitude. And to this day, he still amazes me with his outstanding accomplishments. And I just want to introduce to you Jordan Adler, and he's incredible. This guy is an extraordinary leader. He's a teacher, a mentor, speaker. He's actually been on stages with Tony Robbins, Eric Worre, Pitbull, to say the least. I mean, wow. I remember that when I was there. That was so cool. And to name a few. But he's also the author of the bestseller, Beach Money and Better Than Beach Money, both of which I use and I recommend for my team and anyone starting out in this industry. You know, there's another one that I recommend along with it, and here's the reason why I do that. Mark and Renee Yarnell's book, Your First Year in Network Marketing, where Jordan is highlighted in that book. And I've had that book for a long time, and I finally really listened to it. In fact, I got to tell you guys, I listen to that book every single day in the morning, just a little bit of it, because it gets me going. But every time I hear Jordan Adler, I hear the story first, and I'm thinking, oh, that's Jordan. It was you, Jordan. I was really happy about that. And there's more reasons you're going to hear why I promote these books. So you reside in Jerome, Arizona, which is different from where you used to be. I think we're going to go over these in the interview here. But you're also incredible friends with Sir Richard Branson here lately. I mean, I've seen you with a lot of things there. It's so cool to go on Facebook and just kind of poke a little love at you, or a little smile, and go, wow, look what you're doing now, my friend. So I'd like to just start this out, Jordan. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Sherry. I'm so excited to be here with you. And by the way, just a little side note, I've been written about in over 100 books, and the very first book was Your First Year in Network Marketing, the one that you referenced. And what happened was I had been in 11 network marketing companies in 10 years and never made a penny. And then I started doing well in my 12th company, and I'd never met Mark Yarnell, but he heard about that, and he was writing the book, and he needed some success stories for the book. And so I got a message from one of his people. He was in Switzerland, and I got a message from one of his people saying, Mark Yarnell wants a story, and what is the toughest thing you've had to deal with in your network marketing career? Now, this is after, on my 12th company, after I started making some money and doing really well. What's the toughest thing you've gone through? And so I wrote that story and I sent it in. Well, back then, this is before the internet and all that. I never heard back. I emailed the story over and I never heard back. And 2 years later, I get a message from someone on my team that says, Jordan, you're in a book at the bookstore. And I'm like, what? I'd forgotten completely about it. And so I went down to the bookstore at the mall, and the book is there, sure enough. And I start going through it, and I find my story in the book. And that was the very first time I'd ever been in a book.
You know, it's funny that you actually brought that up that way, because I got the book years ago. Yeah. And, you know, I read it back then, but still my stuff is still in Las Vegas, waiting to get shipped up here to Alaska. So I went ahead and got Audible a couple months ago. And I'm listening to it, and as I'm hearing that story happening, I'm like, wait a minute, I know a guy that did exactly the same thing. And then he said your name. I thought, oh, this all makes sense.
Yeah.
So Jordan, what actually got you started in this industry? Where'd you start?
Yeah, so I had never heard of network marketing. I didn't know what it was. I do vaguely remember my dad when I was a kid referencing something that was a pyramid scheme, but I didn't ever know what it was, and I really didn't pay too much attention. I grew up, my dad was we were a working class family, and I was at a garage sale, and there was a book for sale called The 10 Napkin Presentations by Don Faila, and it was 25 cents. And it was interesting to me, just the concept from looking at the book. So I bought it, and that 25-cent book was worth more to me than my college education. And my dad saved his whole life to pay for myself and my two sisters to go to college for 1 year, and we were required to graduate. And so we had to figure out how to pay for the rest of our school. So I worked my way through school. I paid for my college education. I got a degree because I was required to graduate by my dad. But this book that I bought for a quarter taught me leverage and taught me residual income. And I never looked back. I mean, I started chasing that dream for years before I ever made a penny. But it was that book that really got me started. Right out of school, I took $250, a guitar, and a suitcase, and I moved from the south suburbs of Chicago to Arizona. And that in and of itself changed my life. I bought a $200 motorcycle, went through that $50 real fast, and I was completely out of money. And I still didn't have a job. And during the next 10 years, I just got involved in different network marketing opportunities. I was always intrigued by it, never made a penny, never signed anybody up. But I always held on to the belief that it was possible. And so I kept going back. And then in late 1992, I joined my 12th network marketing company. And that was the one that I got traction and actually started to build something.
But you said something right there. You never lost hope, and you had that vision and you kept going. And
well, the dream of having a large residual check that would allow me to have a life of freedom without having to be told what to do and when to go to work and all that. That dream stayed alive for me. And so I kept going back. It was like a lot of people quit after their first or second try.
Right.
I couldn't even call what I did a try, any of it, because I would get involved. I would be involved for 2 or 3 months. I'd invite one person to take a look. They'd be negative, and I would quit. I'd get discouraged and quit. And I did that over and over and over again. And there were some that I stayed in for longer than others, but most of them I was done within 3 to 6 months. And I had already attended some of their events and met some of their people and listened to the audios and all that. But for whatever reason, at some point I would get discouraged to the point of thinking that it's not going to work for me. And so I would quit. And then I'd see something else that was really exciting and fun, and I'd jump into that. And I just did that. Repeated that same pattern for 10 years with 11 companies.
So basically you actually experienced the shiny coin or shiny object syndrome like a lot of people do.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is you said you quit, but you never really quit.
Well,
I quit.
I quit. And then I got recharged again 6 months later, where I said, I didn't see any other pathways to my dreams. It's like I had no money. I didn't see myself as being very smart from a business standpoint. I just saw no other pathways. I was reading personal development books like crazy, but I could not see myself following any other path that would take me to having a large residual check and living the life of my dreams. I couldn't see that in any other opportunity but network marketing.
Well, one of the things that I noticed when going through your book, reading your book over and over, I mean, it's a good read, it's a fast read, it's a good air flight read, it's wonderful. You set goals. And so did setting goals mean much to you when you first started? Did you know about goal setting back then?
Yeah, and see, I don't even see it as goal setting as much as I had dreams versus goals. Like
Thank you.
I didn't say I'm going to reach this particular goal by this particular date. I would just write down the things that I wanted to experience, accomplish, or acquire. I just would write those down and focus on them, kind of obsess on them.
And you did.
And I did, and some of them were for years before many, many years before I actually saw them come to fruition.
The one that, well, there's two of them that are actually my favorite, but the one where you talked about the red carpet, that was a dream that you had, and it was just kind of something you just kind of pulled out of the air and just stuck it under your pillow, but you kept thinking about it. And when that truly happened as basically a fluke, but come on, it happened. I want people to read the book and hear how that story happened there.
Yeah, that's in my second book, Better Than Beach Money.
Yes.
So there's two books. There's Beach Money. By the way, if you go online, this book has had 4 different covers. If you order any other cover than this one, you're going to get a book that doesn't have as many chapters. This one has more chapters.
I am so glad that you're holding those up, because mine are in Vegas and I only have it on Audible right now.
And then this is a different book. A lot of people think it's the same book. It's not.
No, absolutely
There's
different.
Beach Money, which has been published 4 times with 4 different covers, and this one has more chapters, this new one. This is my second book, which is a completely different book than this book. And the story that Sherry's referring to about the red carpet is in this book, the second book.
And by the way, you guys, there's a plethora of books that are coming out that he's working on. I saw that Facebook post and I'm like, oh my gosh, you got like a dozen that you're putting things into.
Yeah, there's 10 books. The first 2 are out. Social Media Tips is out. It's called Momentum Makers. And
so good.
And that's the second book, is 100 social media tips. The first book is success stories. And then our branding book is coming out, and we've got a team building and a leadership book, and they're all in the works. So
you know what? You just totally answered my next question. So,
by the way, on this different website, to find that, just follow us in the Momentum Makers Facebook group. It's called Momentum Makers.
Thank you.
Follow us in there. Yeah.
So I love that. Thank you so much for that, because I'm going to have a lot of people following with the books that you're doing, because everything you do is spectacular. It's really helping a lot of people out. So back to the dreams here just a second. What is your most significant dream that came to fruition? The one that it gets me the most excited, although I've got a number of them, that I really love. Like one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to make sure that the sale of my Beach Money book, the money from the book made a big splash in the world, right? Something that would really have a large, lasting, long-term impact on the world. And so originally we were going to try and put together our own, and then we tripped over Kiva. Kiva is a micro lending organization that's the largest in the world, and 100% of the profits from Beach Money go to Kiva, so that the book is feeding the entrepreneurial dreams of entrepreneurs all over the world that are wanting to start businesses in developing countries. I've literally seen some of that happening overseas in third world countries. And there's, by the way, a few women that I know that are involved in that. And thank you so much, Jordan. Yeah, it's really cool. So you can check it out at kiva.org. And we have a team, the Beach Money team in there. But that, and then the other one is more personal. It was probably the hardest thing that I've ever learned to do. And it's something that really excites me. And it was a dream that I never believed was possible. And that was to learn to fly helicopters. Yes, I love this. You experienced it while I was in Vegas there. You actually crashed one. And we were. I didn't. Well, I was in it, but I didn't crash. You're right. My helicopter. It was my helicopter, and I was in it. But the guy I was sitting with had the controls and crashed the helicopter. The reason he crashed it is because he had never flown before. And he had convinced me and everybody else for many months that he was a commercial pilot. And you know how hard that is. Yeah, and he said he'd been flying for 20 years and had thousands of hours. And it wasn't one conversation. This was like, after many, many, many months of hanging out with him, everybody around him knew him as a commercial pilot, and he wasn't. And I turned the controls over to him while we were in flight, and 4 seconds later, we crashed. And we should have both. I know, I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but I know for a long time that was hard for you to even talk about. And yeah, thank you for opening up here, because my heart just fell when I heard that. But next I saw you, and you're fine. I'm doing fine. I'm fine. You got a new helicopter, right? Just recently? No, not yet. I lease. I just lease. Okay. So in this world up here in Alaska, we do a lot of flights, and my daughter her and her husband just bought a Cessna 120, 150.
Oh, yeah.
I know. So guess who's going to be taking flight lessons now?
Good. Yeah, it's fun. Wow.
I've been dreaming of this all my life. So, I mean, since I was 8 years old. So that connection that I had with you, with the helicopter, and then you saying how hard that was to even land it within a football field, I thought, you know what? I think I'll stick with the airplanes.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that took place. But also, one of your big deals was space. You are basically obsessed with space.
Yeah, I mean, well, just like most kids, you know, when I was 6, 7 years old, I'd lay in the grass in the backyard in Chicago. And in Chicago, it's not like Alaska. With the stars in Alaska, you can actually see the stars in Alaska. If you look on a good night, you might see 5 stars in Chicago. I thought there were only 5 stars up there.
Oh my!
Growing up in Chicago, that's all you could see. And because of the Chicago light and the pollution and stuff like that. But I used to lay in the grass and look up at the stars and wonder what it would be like to be in space. And just like many kids do that, right? For every 500,000 kids, there's one that becomes an astronaut. And I didn't feel smart enough to be an astronaut at any age. And so, and I knew I would never be a pilot. I knew I would never be a flight engineer. And so I knew I would never be an astronaut. And then years later, I meet a woman that is selling tickets on Virgin Galactic civilian space program. And we got into a conversation, and one thing led to the next, and I ended up, it's a long story, but to make, and it's in the book too, I believe.
I read that as well, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, so I ended up on my 57th birthday wiring $250,000 to Virgin Galactic to become one of the first civilians to go to space. And I'll be the first network marketer to go to space.
You know what? By the way, you didn't have to say your name because I totally thought you were like 42.
Oh, thank you. I feel pretty good. Feel pretty good. Most of the
first network marketer to go to outer space. Now that's worth getting a trophy over. I mean, seriously. Yeah. So there's so through all of this that you've done, wouldn't you say that this industry is it's a great foundation for self-improvement?
Well, yeah, it's a great foundation for a lot of things, but yes, it's probably, there's probably no industry on the planet that has more alignment with the personal development industry. If you're interested in personally growing and developing your business skills and your mindset, all of that, there's probably no industry that you could go into that would give you more of that in this industry.
I absolutely agree. Never would this have ever happened in corporate because, or actually anything else I've ever done, which I, by the way, gave that up. I'm one of those people that went to college for 30 seconds in Chico, California, and realized this isn't for me, packed a bag just like you did and moved to Alaska by myself, and the rest is history. And it's been a fundamental stepping stone in getting where I am today. And yeah, I've been in this industry for 32 years. It doesn't seem like it, but when I run across people like you that can help so many other people with everything that you've done, and so many times that you said you quit, I just thought, wow, this is the guy that people need to hear more from.
Thank you so much.
And I love what you've done. So is there a recipe to follow? I know you like cooking too, right? To follow that would make somebody or help them at least get to the top of this MLM industry like you have done.
Well, I can give you some bullet points. I don't know if you call it a recipe, but the first thing I think is you got to have a simple idea that can be explained in a matter of seconds. Mm-hmm. So if you find yourself, and it's not so much what your company offers, it's you finding an avenue within your company, a message within your company, a process within your company, that when somebody asks you what you do, you can tell them in a matter of seconds. It's something specific that they go, I get it and I can do it. That's the first thing. It has to be simple. The second thing, I think it's simplicity. consistency over a long period of time, repeating that and then teaching it. If you want to make a lot of money in network marketing, help a whole bunch of people make a little bit of money.
Excellent.
That's how you make a lot of money, is help a lot of people make a little bit of money. And the way that they're going to make a lot of money is to help a lot of people make a little bit of money. But I think it's a combination of simplicity, consistency, and then also staying with it for the long haul, doing the work.
Stickability.
Yeah, sticking with it. Yeah.
Stickability. So I realized about 80% of the people, you know, the 80-20 rule there, 80% of the people just won't do what, let's say 10% of the people will do. And then there's another 10% that will do anything and everything that you might even take that down to 1 to 3%. Just do what nobody else will do. And you're one of those people.
Yeah, and one of the things that helped me was when I learned from one of the top earners in my last company that for every, actually I learned this from a guy that wasn't in my company originally, for every 30 people that you sponsor, and this by the way, this has nothing to do with your company, it doesn't have to do with your compensation plan, it doesn't have to do with your product, it doesn't have to do with your upline or your leadership, it has to do with people. For every 30 people that you sponsor over the course of a year or 2 years or however long, a third of them are going to do nothing. And there's nothing you can do to change that. A third of them are going to do a little. And it would be like the real estate agent that spends $3,000 and gets their real estate license and they sell 1 home a year. That represents a third of the people that you're going to bring in. And then the last third, they'll do something more, a little more than a little, but not anything worth really bragging about. They'll do a little more than a little, and then 1 out of 20 to 30 will go out and build something worth talking about. And so, for example, if you're a realtor, if you're a real estate broker and you recruit 30 agents, out of 30 agents, you might get 1 that's going to make 100,000 a year, and the rest will make very part-time money, and a lot of them won't make anything. And that's how it is in network marketing. So you need to be prepared to have a long enough plan, a long-term enough plan to sign up at least 30 people personally. When somebody comes to me and they say, I've signed up 16 people and nobody's doing anything, that's people. That has nothing to do with your business. It's just the nature of people. And it sucks, but it's how it is. So I tell people, most people, the magic happens between 20 and 30 personally sponsored distributors, independent business owners, whatever you want to call them, affiliates. So I tell people, you've got to have a 2-year plan of signing up 2 people a month working part-time.
You
So
know,
that would be
Jordan,
48 people.
I am so glad you broke that down into the thirds and gave an example of that, because people are people. And they just keep thinking about, a lot of people just think about themselves, you know, I mean, that's what they do. And they go, well, I can't be like that person, or I can't be like that person. You know what? They need to be themselves, improve on themselves, and believe that they can do whatever they feel like doing. I wish I could take this a little bit further. Yesterday, I actually was doing a tour up here and ran into the kid that got the #1, Nickelodeon had this thing out for the #1 kid entrepreneur. I literally took that kid on a tour yesterday, and he gave me his website. I looked at it, I'm totally blown away. By the way, he lives in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Right.
And 14 years old. And he's going to be another inspiration for a lot of people that just don't think they can do it. But Jordan, one last question here.
Sure.
What kept you going through the thick of it? I think there's a song out there on that now. The thick of it, the hard part, the tough times. What kept you focused?
Well, first of all, just the nature of being human, you're going to have a lot of really tough things that come up. Like, we get married, we get divorced, we have kids, we lose people important, we lose people that are important to us, like our parents, we have illness. The world is going through incredible transition right now, and there's a lot of things to think about and worry about and get upset about. That's the nature of life today. right? For everybody.
Right.
So I don't care. Nobody's immune from that. Nobody. And no matter how much money you make, you're not immune from it.
Right.
So being in business, whether it's traditional business or network marketing, you have to make your decisions as to whether you're going to work based on your commitments, not based on how you're feeling. Because if you make your decisions based on how you're feeling, because we all feel bad things on a regular basis, you'll never make it. So what keeps me going is my commitment. It's a commitment to be on an interview. It's a commitment to share my business with people that I've set appointments with. It's my commitment to myself to go back to the next helicopter lesson, even if I don't feel like it, because I've committed to getting my license, right? Or whatever it is, right? It's my commitment to finish a book. It's my commitment to my family, whatever it is. It's your commitment that keeps you going. And so in my first 11 companies, I had no commitment. I was going to try it. There's no commitment when you're going to try something. You haven't committed to anything.
You're just kind of checking it out and putting your toe in and feeling the water and going, well, I don't know about this. And that's kind of the way it was back then.
Yeah.
But now to see somebody, and several people have done this. I mean, when we go to Eric Worre sessions, you know, there's so many amazing people that are seven-figure earners, seven-figure-a-month earners. I mean, it's just amazing what I've seen transpired here. And I am just so thankful that you're my friend. And I was able to give you a little Facebook message there. And just out of the, you know, I just felt this need that I've got to get this guy on an interview. I have got to step out of my own comfort zone. And I've done really well in this industry.
Yeah.
When I grow up, I want to be like you.
Oh, you're so nice. Thank you.
So I just want to thank you for all of your words of wisdom here, your golden nuggets that you've thrown all over the place. So I'm sure when people listen to this from my team, they're going to be taking notes. So
hi everybody from Sherry's team.
Thank you so much, Jordan.
Thank you.
And,
hey, by the way, follow me on Instagram. Everybody follow me on Instagram.
Oh, yes, please do. Jordan Adler, and that's what you're under, is Jordan Adler?
Beach Money Jordan.
Beach Money Jordan, you guys follow him on Instagram. Let's get those numbers up there as well. And hopefully, because of COVID, I still can't get through Canada, but I'm hoping to be down there in October and maybe go to a retreat with Tina and Kelly. And if you're around, I'll come up to Jerome and say, hey, because I know I'm going to be going to Flagstaff.
Canada, right?
Say what?
Jerome's in Arizona. You know that?
Well, I have to drive through Canada to bring my stuff up to Alaska. That's what that was about.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, not to confuse you, but yeah, geographically, yeah, I'm going to be going down to Arizona, get to Nevada to get my stuff, go back down to Flagstaff, and through there, I'm going to be passing right by you, buddy. So,
right on.
If you're home, we'll have to stop. I'll stop in the ghost town. Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this. Bye, everybody.
And thank you again. Thank you so much. Have a really good, pleasant day. And wow.
That was really good.
That was seriously fun.
And that's just the beginning, you guys. I have the kid from Arizona. I've got him scheduled for an interview. Troy Dooley, some other people that I'm not going to name names right now, but a couple of them you guys already know. But these are people that have little golden nuggets to throw out at you guys. I don't know about you guys, but I had all the questions here and I did the interview and I caught myself taking even more notes. So I like that, you know, go ahead and follow him on Momentum Makers. I like the fact that he talked about sponsoring 20 to 30 people, and 1/3 of those people are going to do a little, well, actually 1/3 of them are going to do nothing. And this is so typical. This is why I'm so glad he broke that down. 1/3 will do a little, 1/3 will do a little more, but out of that 20 to 30, there'll be one in there. And these numbers are so correct. It's a fluke if you get 2 or 3 out of 20 to 30 people that do the big deal, the big thing. I'm really fortunate. I didn't want to tell him that on the interview, but I've got like 6 people on this small group of people that I sponsored, less than 30, that are doing fantastic. So and I think a lot of that has to do with how you treat your team. It isn't about me. It's about how you keep educating them, how you keep training, how you keep bringing things to them that can help them develop more. And like you said, again, you just teach a lot of people to make a little bit of money. And sometimes that's okay for some people. But I don't know. I think all the people I have that are on, I don't mean to say I think all the people that are on this Zoom right now, I don't think any of us want to earn a little bit of money. I think we all want to earn a bunch, a boatload. So we're just really fortunate to be with not only that, but this company. And did you notice neither one of us said anything about what company we're with or anything? It's all about getting you the information that is valid in every single networking company. That's a good one. So does anybody have any questions?
I got a comment.
Sure.
Well, I was listening to Kelly this morning, and I was thinking about our team, and the thing I thought was kind of fun, he said when they're in Panama, he's thinking they're going to be testing whether or not our team's going to be doing something. You know what? Kelly could go away for a month, and it wouldn't be a problem.
Thank you so much. Do you guys, if anybody listened to the call on Friday, I did the call on Friday, and that was exactly what I was talking about. I don't know that Kelly even heard the conversation. I know Tina did, but I do believe that this team there's not going to be any struggles at all. Even Tuesday, you're in on this team. You may be on a different team, but you are so in on this team. And we're not going to struggle. And here's why. You guys have learned how to figure it out. You guys have learned to go look for something, before you make that phone call, go try to find it. Things are pretty easy right now to find everything under our guides by just searching. Put in whatever you're looking for, just put one of those keywords in there and boom, there it is. When I found that little trick or hack or whatever you want to call it, man, it made life so much easier. So thanks for the observation there, Daniel. Anybody? Oh, I thought you had your hand up there, Clea. It was my hand over your picture there. Anybody have any questions that they want to bring up at the time? And I will get that recorded. Jordan asked me how I was going to use that. And I said, it's going to be training for my team. I do want to put it on a YouTube that is, it's not going to be private, and it's not going to be public. It's just, what's the other name for that, Daniel?
It's just like a hidden thing where you
unpublished.
Unpublished, anybody who has the link can look at it.
Yeah, anybody can look at that link. So, and he just thought that was really amazing that people are actually doing that. There's a lot of leaders now, you guys, that are starting to do interviews with people and put them in their little podcast. Now, somebody that I know does it all the time is Dale Calvert. And I listened to a lot of his podcasts, and I thought, why not do that myself? You guys could do that. If you find somebody that just is exceptional in the industry, then go ahead and do an interview. Have your questions ready. I've got like 15 questions ready, but then I narrowed it down to just 10, and I think I only asked 8, and it was perfect. And I didn't even tell him the questions before I asked, so that was pretty cool.
I think you should do the same thing with Kelly. And part of the reason is, Kelly says he has the BS meter, and he can get through all that, and he can predict somebody real fast. That's actually somebody that anybody can learn how to do. But if you can get it to the level where where Kelly is. It's amazing. And no reason none of us could do that.
Right. He's actually on the schedule and separate. I don't have him and Tina together. They're going to be separate because they do things together, but they do them in a different way. And Malo, hey there from the Philippines. So glad to see you here. And it looks like Beth, I don't know if her internet went out. Beth was just here. Malo, hi. It is what, 11 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. And you're muted. You want to say hi? Malo. There we go. You're unmuted. Say hi to the crew. I guess her I don't think her microphone is working, but Malo, you missed it. I went ahead and introduced you, Paul, Sandra, Aname, and Nathaniel at the beginning of this. So I've recorded this. In fact, it's still being recorded right now. I guess I should have taken that off of there, and I'll get that to you, okay? Well, I'll put that in you guys' chat, all right? There she is. Here comes Beth. So anyway, I wanted to thank everybody for coming on here tonight. And thank you so much. Let the Philippines group know that if they ever want to jump on, I know it's not really that early, 11 o'clock in the morning. Jump on here anytime. There's Beth right there. So if there's no more questions, any more questions, anybody have a comment? No? Well,